Good morning. Day 244, I think. Cooking down the refrigerator, freezer, and working pantry meals. So I picked these flowers this morning, and they're still wet from all the rain. We had a ton of rain yesterday. It was actually kind of nice. And the thunderstorms were just phenomenal. There was a period of time where we weren't having much in the way of thunderstorms, but now they're back. So it was actually a good thing that we had so much rain because the ground was getting pretty dry. So today it's going to be, I think, in the upper 70s, low 80s, which is a beautiful day. And I have no idea what I'm doing today. I love days where I just don't have to go anywhere unless I want to, and I can just fly by the seat of my pants. That's right up my alley. I don't like schedules. I never did. I mean, I had to when I worked, and I had kids, and I went to school. At one point, I had to color code my calendar. So I have no idea what I'm going to eat today. I have a lot of leftovers that I need to eat up, and I cooked extra pasta yesterday. So we'll see. If you're wondering what happened to my coffee pot, I put it back already because when I went to watch this little clip, I didn't record because I had to stop recording because my dog was barking again. Shocking. So anyway, I wanted to wrap this up. So we'll take a look in my refrigerator in a little bit and see what I have to eat up because I don't like to waste food. So here's my little harvest for this morning while I was picking flowers. I also picked some tomatoes and cucumbers, and I like to pick these when they're really small because I don't like the seeds too much. And this one is kind of a short, fat one, but it'll be fine. And I haven't looked to see if I have any green beans in the backyard. That and kale and chard are about the only things that are ready back there, unless there's a few tomatoes back there too. All right, I'll be back in a little bit and we'll see what's for brunch. Day 244. So we have more rain. I love the sound of rain. Looks like there's more rain coming. I actually love the rain. so peaceful. Good morning. Time for a little chat about nothing in particular. Cheers. Just thought I'd have some morning coffee with you. So, what a glorious rainy day. It's just, I love days like this. It's cozy and it's warm, and it's not like a cold rain. There's something about a summer rain that's so refreshing. So I hope you enjoyed that 2 minutes of Zen, because to me days like this are very Zen. So I'm cooking up a little tiny handful of lentils. I had to turn them down. So I'm cooking up a little tiny handful of lentils for my dinner tonight. I want to combine that with my pasta and the extra pasta I cooked and make a different dish out of them. So today I've been filling up my large half-gallon jars with beans and rice, and while I was down looking at my stash, I realized how very, very unorganized it is. I have beans here and beans there and rice here and rice there. I don't even know what all I have down there. So it's really important that at least within the next month or so that I get that all organized and put in buckets. I have a lot of buckets from Walmart. They were $1 or $2 in the bakery, and people are catching on to that because they're getting harder and harder to find. But I have lots. I have small buckets. I take those too if they have them, or the big buckets. The nice thing is they all have a lid. So I've been gathering those for a while, and I've been gathering food for a long time, way before all this shift. And if anybody is wondering what shift is, if they see that, it's when literally the shit hits the fan. Excuse my French. But I don't have a problem with swearing. I know some people is like, oh, that came out of her mouth, but I actually, believe it or not, I can get right up there and swear with the sailors. Anyway, I'll bet you didn't think I did that, but I do. So anyway, I've been filling up those half-gallon jars, and I still have some in the basement, and I'm thinking I might just order another, I think it's 6 of them. Last time I bought them, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, they were $12 at Walmart. They're probably way more now, who knows. But I think I'll get 6 more for when I do organize, then I'll have them. So I've decided that next year I'm going to have a different strategy for my little tiny garden in the back. And since I have to grow everything in containers, over the past 4 or 5 years, that's how long I've had a vegetable garden, maybe a little longer, I'm kind of learning what will grow and what won't. Now, it's going to change once that tree comes down. That's supposed to happen this week. I hope it does, because I'm kind of nervous about, with the heavy rains and stuff, that that's what took the last big branch down. But I'm kind of a little worried that that's going to continue and do more damage. So I really need to get a hold of this fellow and see what day he plans on coming out. So anyway, getting back to the garden part, I'm not going to plant things. Now this year I planted squash in there, like butternut squash. And I had a mystery plant that I think was a pumpkin. Well, they're not producing anything. They're not getting female flowers. They're not getting pollinated. So I think next year my basic strategy is going to be focused on planting greens. They do well back there. Tomatoes, they do okay. I don't have an overabundance of tomatoes and peppers. The sun in my garden, even if I don't have the big tree there anymore, it comes at an angle from the south or from the northeast, and there are trees there too, so those shade the sun coming in. It's like at an angle, and then by the time the sun passes over and goes to the southwest, my house shades my garden. So I have a very small window, maybe 6 hours of sun that is back there. So I'm going to have to go back there. And if you garden and you don't know where to put your pots and things like that, take a day where you go out in the garden and actually say, okay, it's 9 a.m. Yes, the sun's on the garden. And then go out, a couple times a day, 3-4 times, and see where the sun is falling in your garden, and then put your plants according to how much sun they need in whatever area. Because in my garden, it gradually becomes shady. So the greens will be fine with less sun, but the peppers and the tomatoes definitely need the most sun. So next year when I put my garden in, I'm going to be more mindful of that and actually see how much sun I get in the different areas. So I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of cooking today. I want to add the lentils to my pasta, and I just had a handful of lentils left over from filling my jars, and I still haven't done the decoupage on the jars. I'd still like to do that, but it's not like a priority on my list. I have other things that I want to get done first, like my dining room table, and I have to continue to do a little purging so that I have 2 bags, like the kitchen garbage bags full of clothes that are going, but I have to have things gathered for the donation pickup, and that's going to be happening not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow. So I have to continue on that, and I've been noticing that even though I'm organizing as I'm decluttering, a lot of my things have been pretty much in the same place for 20 years. Even if it didn't make sense, I knew where everything was. And now it's like, oh, where did I put that? So, I don't know, organizing has its pros and cons, I guess. But you get used to it. And having less stuff is definitely a plus for your peace of mind and your Zen lifestyle. So, anyway, I just wanted to talk about those couple random things, and that's pretty much it for now. Unless I think of more things to say, then I'll be back, but I'll definitely be back with what I'm having to eat. All right, see you in a little bit. Okay, well, I decided I'm going to declutter one shelf at a time. This is my 15-minute declutter. So I started off with this shelf. This one holds my little slow cookers and my cups and mugs. So let me show you all the cups and mugs I have. and I'll be getting rid of some of these. So I have all these. Then over here I have all these. And over here I have all these. Now these are my fancy to-go cups. So I'm not getting rid of those because I like them. And I do use them occasionally, but I want to use them more often. Usually I use the Dollar Tree to-go cups. That way if I forget it somewhere, it's not that big a deal. So anyway, this is my 15-minute declutter for today. I should have shown you the shelf before I pulled everything out, but this will work too. So I'll be back in a little bit and show you what I'm getting rid of and what I'm keeping. Well, I'm cooking beans this morning. They're my Akoba beans. They're a very mild bean. I get them at Walmart. So this is one of the slow cookers that belongs in that cupboard on that shelf that I'm clearing. My lentils are done. And this is another little slow cooker. These are small. And I like to keep these because if I have a party and I have hot dips or something, these two small slow cookers do a great job of keeping things warm. So I'm keeping those. I'm not getting rid of those. I have 2 apple cores, but I don't have any apples right now, so I don't want to get rid of either one of these right now because I want to try one out and then I'll see which one I'm going to get rid of. Now this is the 3rd slow cooker that I have, and it's a nice oval one, and it's a nice size. It's not too big, it's not too small, and I use that when I make dishes where I have, maybe 3 or 4 servings. So I'm not getting rid of any of my slow cookers because I do use them, and they will go right back in the cupboard. Okay, excuse the laundry. It's my daughter. She needs to pick that up. But I'm only getting rid of these 4 cups. Those are going to charity. But in here I have, these are all mason jars. And I'm not getting rid of mason jars. So these will go in the basement. They don't need to be in this cupboard up here. And I'll use those if I ever do canning. So this stuff is all coming out of the cupboard. Now these my grandkids use. So I have, a few of these. They're from Dollar Tree, so I'm keeping those, and they fit just nicely in this little container. And then I'm also keeping these for condiments if I make my own condiments, which I do occasionally, or dressings. I'll keep those. And of course my mason jars I'll keep. So I'm going to put everything back, and I'll show you how it looks. I know this still looks like it has a lot of things in it, but it's much more organized. My slow cookers they live there. These are my Dollar Tree to-go cups, and I'll just keep those and use them, and eventually they'll get to the point where I won't have any more. These are my grandkids' cups, a couple more to-go cups, and back there are all the other to-go cups that I kept. So I'm happy with the way it turned out. So that's one shelf done, and it did take longer than 15 minutes. It took maybe half hour, but I did other things in between, like make my beans and try to figure out what I want to keep or not. But I do use all these things. So there's one shelf decluttered, and I have 3 more to go. I have this one. I have a lot of bowls and things that I can get rid of. So I want to do this whole cupboard before the donation people come. So there's that shelf. This shelf has a lot of paper products and my microwave rice cookers and random jars, so that shelf has to be decluttered. And then down here I have other various things. So I'll be doing a declutter on this in the next week or so until the donation people come. All right, it's already afternoon and I haven't had breakfast, so I'm going to have a bite to eat. So let's see what's going on in the fridge. All right, I have this last of the Walmart bread that I'm going to have for breakfast, and I have a lot of tomatoes that have gotten ripe. So I think I have some cheese here that I need to eat. So I'm going to have some of that. And then way down here, I still have 3 of these. So I'm going to have, these really need to be eaten, this avocado mash. So I want to eat those with my tomatoes. This is going to be for dinner. It's my basil pasta. I still have some cucumber and tomato salad. So that will be my dinner. And I'm not having the same thing I had yesterday exactly. I'm going to have a different sauce with it. But, yep, still lots to eat. So, okay. I will meet you at the stove. Okay, well, here is my lunch, because now it's actually even past lunch, but I'm just going to use up one of these. Apparently it's not doggy nap time. So anyway, I just want to use this up. And I have a little bit of iced coffee here. It was just leftover coffee that I put in the fridge, because coffee's too expensive to waste, like everything else. So I'm almost done now with this avocado mash. And I have to take a trip to Costco sometime soon. I want to pick up some extra dog food. So today I've been filling up my jars on my shelves with pasta and beans and rice, getting that all set up. So here I have a tomato from my garden, and I want to eat those up too. Enjoy the fruits of my labor. And then here I just have some bread and butter and cheese. So this is going to be my lunch today. And I like lunches like this. All right, I'll be back later with some dinner. Well, I've decided to do another 15-minute declutter, and I'm going to declutter this shelf right here. So this is how it is before, and I'll be back. All right, well, there's certain things that I had stuck way back there like this. Now this is a sealer machine, which I never use because it's stuck way back there. But I want to start using that to preserve some of my food. I have bags and labels. So I'm going to try and set this up so it's more easily accessible. So here's all the things I pulled out of there. I have all these timers. You know, when I worked, I used to program those with my slow cooker. So I don't want to get rid of those because they're useful, but I don't think I need that many in the kitchen. And then over here, this Lazy Susan, this was on here. I have some things for bread making and a press for burgers. So that was in there. Then over here I have all these things of different wraps and bags, and so I have to look through there. I won't get rid of those, but maybe I could put them in the basement, some of them if I have doubles, until I need it. Then over here I have my rice cookers. I use these all the time. I have a couple different things for lemons and a pitcher for cream and a couple of jars. So I don't know. We'll see. I need to rearrange it so that it's more workable. Well, I moved this to the side so that I can use it now. Back there is my Lazy Susan with things I don't use too often. All my bags and things, all this stuff fit in here. So, and then my rice cookers will fit right here perfectly. So there we go. 2 shelves, decluttered and organized. I know it still looks like a lot of stuff, but I use the things in this cupboard. All right, there we go. Somebody has a Nutella mustache. Very nice. This is granddaughter Haley. All right, Lizzie's being annoying again. I have the leftover pasta that I cooked yesterday. And there's a few green beans in there, but that's okay. I have 3 eggs here and some Parmesan cheese, and I have a tomato. So I'm going to put all this into a bowl with the 3 eggs. So today was a somewhat productive day. I got 2 shelves cleaned out and organized. Now, you have to understand, I have gone through that cupboard many times. And it's more a matter of making it functional than actually getting rid of a ton of stuff. Because in that cupboard, I use most of the things in there. And like I said, the one thing that the sealer was just tucked way too far back in the cupboard, so I wasn't using it, but that's the only reason why. Okay, so I have my 3 eggs in here, my tomato. I'm going to put a good bunch of Parmesan cheese in there. Oh, maybe a 1/4 cup. And my Mayakoba beans are done. They cooked up very nicely in my slow cooker. And I didn't soak them or anything. They just went in there dry, and I put quite a bit of water in. So that'll be for another meal. And I'm thinking about doing something with the beans and some tofu. I don't know what yet, but I wanted to have them available. I could put some in here, but I'm not going to do that. All right. So there's that, and now I'm going to put quite a bit of this pasta in there, and then it's going to get baked. So I'll put about half in, maybe a little bit more, and the rest of this I'll just have for another meal. So let's see if that's enough. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. That was the Amazon guy. He brought me my little electric tea lights. So I want to use up this coconut milk. I still have quite a bit of that in here. So I'm just going to add a little bit, not much. Yeah, like that much. What's the matter? You got something in your throat? And it doesn't matter that it's coconut milk. I mean, to me, I just don't even taste it. Somebody's having an issue here. Okay, so that's that. Really, Lizzie. And I put some garlic oil on here. She's not choking. She's fine. Alright, so I'm just going to bake this at, I'm not sure, 375, 350 until the egg is set. So, oh geez, Lizzie. Okay, and this is probably enough for 2 meals too. Alright, let's see. A couple green beans here from, I think I'll add those. I'll just pick those out. And this basil pasta was good, but it needed to be used up. So, alright, we've got our veggies in here, our beans. Now, you could put bacon in here if you wanted to. Alright, so I'm going to pour all that in and put it in the oven. And that will be dinner. So if you have leftover pasta, you can make all kinds of things with it. Now I didn't want to add too much milk because I don't want it too liquidy. So I'll be back once this is done baking. Okay, so here is what I got from Amazon. And these were $12 for 6 of them. And I really like these candles with the dancing wick. Let's see. So there you go. And on hot days when you don't feel like lighting a candle, you can put these on. So I like these. That makes me happy. Now you can get these rechargeable ones too, but they were kind of expensive, so I just got the cheaper ones. I think the rechargeable ones were like $25 and these were $12. And you can go to Dollar Tree and get the batteries. Yeah, I like these. I have large candles like this too. In fact, I got some from Mark's not that long ago. But I wanted some votives. I have a couple different places I wanted to put some votives. So I think those will be nice. You can get these with a remote too, but I find the remote usually ends up breaking after you use it a couple times. So I just opted for these. And my food is in the toaster oven at 375. I'm going to check it in 30 minutes and we'll see. So here I have my cucumber and cherry tomato salad from the garden, and I put that Aldi's feta in there. So that's been sitting in the fridge overnight, and I have this tiny bit of avocado mash that I'm just going to add to this because this is a lemony flavor too, and it'll make a dressing, like an avocado balsamic dressing. And you don't even really notice it's in there, but it makes the dressing a little bit thicker. So let me taste this, because you know how I hate to waste food, even little bits like that. If I can find a use for it, I will. Alright, let me try it. That's really good. Alright. That will be going with my dinner. Okay. I'm going to, I'm not going to put the lentils in with it. I had a different thought in mind when I made those. But I will make something out of the lentils. And the mycoba beans, that'll be something for another recipe too. So I'll be back in a little bit. So if you're intimidated by cooking your own beans, it couldn't get any easier than cooking them in a slow cooker. Now this was like 3/4 of a cup of beans, and then I added like 3 to 4 good cups of water and some seasoning salt, and that's it. Now you can season these whatever way you want after they're done cooking. These are going to go in the fridge and be ready for some other meals. Alright, so cooking your own beans is no big deal. Okay, well, it's not a strata. I forget what you call it. It baked at 375 for 30 minutes and it's done. So I'm going to take a nice piece of this. And then I was just watching a little goldfinch. I leave my cone flowers for the goldfinches. They don't look very nice, but I don't cut them down after they're done blooming because the goldfinches just love them. So I just leave them until they really don't have many seeds on them anymore. And sometimes if I want more cone flowers, I just take the whole head, flower head, and stick it in the ground. And that's how I always get so many cone flowers. So, okay, let's give this a try. It looks good. And this is enough for a couple meals anyway. And then my salad. Alright, so there it is. Dinner, day 244. So let's give this a taste. I really enjoy meals where I can take all my bits and bobs of food and make another dish out of them. So let's give this a try and see if it's a winner. That's really good. I didn't add more salt to it. The pasta was already salted and the Parmesan cheese was salted, but go by your own taste. That is really good. I like the basil noodles, but like I said, they are not the best for long-term storage. They make these in mushroom and in tomato, but they don't last as long as a regular pasta will. Kind of hot, it just came out of the oven. This would be good with mushrooms. You could stick bacon in it, or fakin' bacon, or anything. Peppers, onions, olives, whatever you have in the refrigerator. The Parmesan cheese brings it up a notch, but you could add whatever cheese you want. You could add cheddar, Italian cheese. That was a big mouthful. So anyway, that's all I have for you today. It was a productive day. I'm happy with that. So in the meantime, I want to wish you abundant blessings. Be good to yourself, be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.